Welcome to Jacket Talk Overtime on LEB TV, brought to you by Mid-Missouri Bank, by Mercy, by Jacket Nation Sports, and also by Ginger's Wellness. I want to remind you, Saturday night, it is the season finale at the Lebanon I-44 Speedway. Gates will open at 4 o'clock, and as part of the program, there will be a concert at intermission by Wyatt McCubbin. So be at I-44 Speedway Saturday night. We hope you're at Willard this Friday as the Yellow Jackets take on the Tigers. It is week number 4 of COC football. We'll have Coach Will Christian with us shortly, and we'll recap the Neosho game from this past Friday and preview this week's action for the Yellow Jackets coming up on Jacket Talk Overtime here on LEB TV. Welcome to Jacket Talk on LEB TV. Welcome back to Buzzcuts in Downtown Lebanon. It is Jacket Talk Overtime on LEB TV, brought to you by Mid-Missouri Bank, also by Mercy, Jacket Nation Sports, and also by Ginger's Wellness. Mel's providing lunch today, thanks to Mel's restaurant in Downtown Lebanon also. Coach C with us as Lebanon gets ready for a Week 4 engagement on the road at Willard to take on the Tigers. On grass turf on Friday night, Coach. That's a little bit strange, isn't it?
It is. I think the last time we played on grass was there.
Yeah.
And so definitely a little bit different. However, they do a really nice job with it. So it's a real quality surface, especially considering that they haven't had any major rain and it's not the end of the year. So in a lot of ways, if I was a player, I'd rather play on natural grass surface that was good than the artificial surface.
Mm-hmm. Another hot week, and it's going to be hot on Friday, the weather projects. So, again, conditioning and hydration is going to be a big factor.
Yeah, it is. All those health components. Yesterday was a grind, pushing through. I thought our kids did a good job with it, but definitely as the season goes on, these hot days and weeks add up and make it challenging. And so, but that's part of the toughness of doing it. You know, we told our kids at the end of the day, as we coached them hard and pushed them hard, that, not everybody can do it. And it makes them special that they're out there, battling through those tough situations, tough conditions in order to do it. So, proud of them for that. Definitely Friday. I mean, we'll have to do a good job throughout this whole week, not just Friday, of making sure that we're in a spot where cramping isn't an issue. I think our kids have done really, really good job with that up to this point, and so I've been pleased with that. We've had a little, but not probably what we could have had, especially with the depth problem and the number of guys we have contributing in a lot of ways.
Well, I'm sure Jacket Nation wants to know, as we visit on Wednesday morning, the status of Jax Glendenning as a chance for him playing this Friday after he had to leave the Neosho game last week.
Well, using the NFL terminology is questionable. So he's not out, but he's not in either. So, it's one of those things that the medical professionals make those decisions. When we're given the green light, then we move forward. He has been rehabilitating, which is a positive for all Jacket Nation fans. I think that his return is sooner than later, but I don't want to speculate on Wednesday if his return is going to happen this Friday or not. I'm going to let the medical professionals make those decisions this week.
So I'm going to assume he has not been cleared to return to practice yet.
Yeah, he did not practice in our Monday or Tuesday practice. And so at this point, he is not.
Did he take himself out of the ball game Friday night?
It was a mixed deal. He alerted us to, definitely something not going right. And then along with our athletic trainer, and then us as a coaching staff, we made the move that, definitely he didn't need to return until he could be thoroughly assessed at halftime. And then, see how the hamstring would react. And it didn't react favorably. And, certainly in week 3, we don't want to cost the entire season for our team or the kid. And so it was best that we not return him. And so, that's how things went down. But certainly I thought our team, even with that being said, still had opportunities, and played tough and hard. Avery Starnes came in and, was our B back and had 90 yards rushing and run the football hard. And so Jax is clearly a pivotally important piece to the puzzle on our football team in many, many ways. But we've got to be ready for circumstances where Jax is not able to go, or any player is not able to go for that matter.
As you go back and review that Neosho game, they're a good football team, Coach. They're a veteran football team. They've got quite a few seniors, and especially in the skill position component. So good quarterback, good receivers, good running back. Denver Welch, I mean, he was at Missouri State for a visit on Saturday night up there. So they're a good football team, and you stayed right with them. It was a tough physical football game in the COC Friday night.
Yeah, it was. And, last year, obviously, Neosho had its struggles. And so, a lot of folks probably look at, their win-loss column from a year ago and assume, well, that should have been a gimme. But what you would analyze if you dig a little deeper is that they scored a lot of points last year and were in a lot of those games against great competition. So they really weren't that far away, which is kind of the same spot we feel right now at 0-3. We feel like we're not very far away. And so, with that being said, they definitely made some drastic improvements defensively, and they're a handful. And if you look at their schedule, there's a path where they could be 7-0, 6-0. No disrespect to what they have upcoming. Just looking at what the odd makers would say, they're a favorite in several games upcoming, and so definitely Neosho has got things going in the right direction in this campaign, and kudos to them.
Couple of early turnovers in the first half kind of compromised your effort there. No more turnovers after that, but again, those 2 early fumbles, they played into the part, didn't they?
Our margin for error is very small right now. We need to be on the plus side of the turnover differential. I've said that from the beginning, and it continues to be pivotal. We need to create more turnovers, and we've got to take care of the football. I really believe for us to get in the win column and consistently stay in the win column, Kevin, that is a component that has to start to be on our side as soon as possible. We need to be at least +1. I think if we're +1, we give ourselves a great chance to win week in, week out, and we've got to work really hard to get there.
I had you for 70 plays on offense Friday night, so you possessed the football, 20 first downs. You were 9-13 on third down. So possession of the football was good for your football team on Friday night. Still missing the explosive play component, though, aren't you?
We are. Our plus 25 plays are limited a little bit. We got one in the passing game this last week, which was certainly something that we've been working on and looking to do, and that was a major plus with Beckett's connection with Ogle. But definitely, from the standpoint of some of our running game, we haven't had a bunch of it. Jax had some big runs in the Joplin game, but we haven't had enough, and so we're continuing to try to get those things solidified. And some of that is not so much just on the kid breaking it or making the play, but it is our downfield blocking. It's blocking some of those second and third level players and execution of that we've got to get better at as well to help create some of those plus 25 plays. And I think we'll see more of those as the year goes on, as we start to figure out things more, especially with some of our inexperienced folks. And especially also with the fact that we're seeing well-coached defenses that are schemed up well, and that are tackling well, and they prohibit some of those things, which in close, tight football games, you're going to see. I mean, if you analyze the collegiate or NFL level, you're not going to have in close contested games a ton of plus 25 plays because everybody is scheming up to prevent those. And so you got to drive the football, you got to execute, you got to eliminate penalties, you got to take care of the ball. It forces you to play the game cleaner and better.
I've liked the way the football team has come out offensively in each of the first 3 weeks and really drove the football effectively. I think that's credit to the coaching staff and Brian Summer for really kind of scripting things out there early in the football games.
Yeah, Brian does a tremendous job, as he has since taking over the offense in 2015. Obviously, with a lot of moving parts and new parts, there's a lot going on right now to make our offense better. But when you look at us statistically, we've been very productive. Obviously, the problem is that, we're turning the football over a little bit. And also Friday, we had a little bit of problems in the red zone, in particular inside the 5. And so, obviously we've got to get those things fixed and continue to expand. Every week with our quarterback, we're expanding and he's improving drastically each week. So progress is being made, even though obviously in the win-loss column with the general fan, it doesn't appear that way, but it definitely is taking place. Our kids are working really hard. Our staff's working really hard. And we're going to continue to grow in that area.
What was the bounce back vibe on Monday when you returned to work?
Well, I mean, our kids are, I think, doing a good job. Obviously, there is a cloud right now. Some of it is a little bit of just some natural front runnerism, is what I call it. When you look at the fact that over the past 10 years, we've won 70% of our games, 8.1 wins per season over that 10-year span. 0-3 is hard for kids, community, parents, fans, coaches, everybody alike. And so we've really got to battle through some of those mental bugs that make us want to feel sorry for ourselves, point fingers, make excuses, all the things that can come with being a front runner. And so we're hammering away on that. I think our kids are probably the best group of all of them that are staying focused on what we need to do. And we're just going to continue to hammer away. I mean, that's really all we can do, right? The controllables. What we can't do is go back. 0-3's done. And we really need to be all about trying to be 1-0. And I think our kids, they buy into that because ultimately that's all that can be controlled at this point.
Our vantage point from the broadcast booth on Friday night, we remarked that this was the best performance by your football team compared to the previous 2 weeks. I thought week number 3 against Neosho, your football team put more things together, and I saw some improvement. Would you concur with that?
Yeah, there's no doubt improvement is happening, which we're very proud of. We're proud of the fact that we feel like our kids are playing with a lot of guts and courage and no quit. Now, obviously, when you study film, it's never 100%. There's some that we've got to get there, but the mass majority, which paints the picture that we want. But certainly in the realm of execution, in the realm of production, in all elements, there's been growth. We just got to continue to hammer away at it. Partially, the margin for error is very small, which continues to have us on the side of the win-loss column that we don't want to be. And then there's some other tangible excuses. They're excuses, but they're real. The injury bug hasn't been nice to us at this point. We definitely have some key guys out. And obviously the fan doesn't want to hear any of that, right? I mean, that's not what the fan wants to hear, but it's real, especially when they're veteran players that, are very talented and starting capable guys. So that's something that we have to battle through. That's been a distraction, but it is what it is. And then also, I feel like that, we've got to fix more things that are shooting our foot off, so to speak. Some of the penalties, And then obviously you've mentioned already the turnovers.
6 penalties on Friday night, though, against Neosho, so that was a reduction from the previous 2 weeks.
No doubt, especially the week before. The week before, we had almost 2 football fields of penalties. So, I anticipated that would be the case, honestly, but we still had a few, Kevin, that were in spots that we've got to eliminate and were things that we can eliminate, right? When you analyze the film, I know obviously the general fan, and I'm not attacking fans. It sounds like I am today. I'm really not. But the general fan would view that, well, the officials are always just creating stuff. and sometimes even as coaches, we feel that way, but that's not the case, especially when you review the film and you evaluate that, hey, maybe our hands were outside on that particular play. And maybe, we did grab a face mask or whatever it might be. There are things that we need to be intentional about fixing.
Well, Neosho had 7 penalties by my count for 80 yards. They had 3 holding calls, so the penalty situation was pretty well even on Friday night. You mentioned the goal line situation. You did get a 1-yard touchdown pass from Beckett York to Brody Shoemaker in the end zone. Kind of brought back memories of Gavin Smith to Hoyt Honey.
Yeah, absolutely. That play's been in the playbook for a while, and great football play. Kind of similar people, right? I mean, Brody's got length, and so. It's something that, obviously when a team expects the run, that's something that we can utilize. And something actually yesterday that we invested time in is our red zone passing game. Again, you look at a list, it's kind of like Santa Claus at Christmas, Kevin, right? He unfolds the list and it goes and goes and goes. Well, sometimes that's kind of how it is with a football team. There's a long list of things, and we could spend several hours of the show outlining all of the things that we got to get better at, and we got to prioritize what is most important. And so definitely this week, our red zone has become something that we need to target a little bit, whereas maybe in previous weeks, we just needed to get ourselves in a spot where we could run a play. Our plays effectively, no matter where we were at. So, that's something that we'll continue to expand on and improve.
Well, you threw for 74 yards on Friday night in the Neosho game, and that by far and away is the best passing performance of the season.
And it's going to continue to grow, and it's important. I know that, folks would like to see us throw it more, but that's not what we are. And our play action and our quick passing game is very effective, but there's a lot of timing components. There's a lot of protection components that, you got to get it all right. Because the old adage that the old coach would say, if you had Coach Harv Welch back on the show, he might talk about the 3 things that can happen when you pass. And 2 of them, Kevin, are bad. So you got to do a really good job of making sure that everything is a fine-oiled machine, because negative plays cause you to punt. And so, it's important when we're throwing the football that we're effective.
How much has your bank paid you? We've paid our Kasasa account holders more than $7 million since 2017. Open an account in minutes to get in on the earnings today.
My name is Jaysha Connor, owner and nurse practitioner here at Ginger Wellness. I believe that sometimes healthcare does too much, and I believe that's where wellness centers can really bridge that gap and really give people some confidence in natural ways, healthier ways, to really improve quality of life and to get healthy.
We want to feel better and live better lives. It's not about quantity, it's a lot about quality of your life.
Ginger Wellness is where I went to get my quality of life back.
You shouldn't have to give up the hometown bank experience to enjoy modern convenience. Just check our Google reviews about our in-person, online, and mobile banking experiences. Open an account in minutes today.
My name is Jaisha Connor, owner and nurse practitioner here at Ginger Wellness. I believe that sometimes healthcare does too much, and I believe that's where wellness centers can really bridge that gap and really give people some confidence in natural ways, healthier ways, to really improve quality of life and to get healthy.
We want to feel better and live better lives. It's not about quantity, it's a lot about quality of your life.
Ginger Wellness is where I went to get my quality of life back.
On the road to Willard on Friday night to face the Tigers. It's been a while since Lebanon has played there. Been several years since you faced Willard. That was a district opponent 5 or 6 years ago. They're under new guidance. So what's your impression of the Willard Tigers going into Lebanon's matchup on Friday?
Yeah, they're a 2-1 football team. They won a close ball game with Waynesville on Friday night, a high-scoring affair. And then they won a close game in a lower-scoring affair with Glendale. Coach McFarland did a fantastic job at his time at Hillcrest as a coordinator, and then taking to the head coaching ranks at Reed Spring, leading them to a state finals appearance. And now taking over at Willard. I think he does a tremendous job. I think he's a very good play caller. I think he does a very good job of analyzing an opponent and attacking what's going to give his team the best opportunity to be successful. And so with that, we as a defense have got to do a good job of trying to not make them comfortable, not being in the same kind of looks, and really, adhering to, things that, especially in their passing game, would make the quarterback and coordinator not confident in what they're getting ready to get in that post snap. So we're going to do a good job of that. I think Coach Allen has done a great job defensively this year, along with Coach Hicks, our two coordinators there, and I think if you analyze us defensively, I believe our defenses gave us opportunities. The only thing that I would say are slight negatives are the plus 25 passing plays. We've got to do a little bit better job there, and then not getting enough takeaways. But we've defended the run excellently this year, which has caused some opponents to be one-dimensional. And I think we've done a decent job of getting pressure. We run out of gas a little bit late in games in that. So I feel like that we've got a great opportunity to defend our opponent Friday, and we've got to do a great job there. And then offensively, we just need to continue to be productive, and we need to take care of the football. And I think that we're going to move the chains. We're going to move the ball. We're going to score. We got to take care of us. Really doesn't matter what our opponent's going to do defensively Friday. It just matters what we do. And I think that we've got great opportunities Friday, great opportunities. And we've got to show up, and we got to be real hungry, Kevin. We got to be real hungry to win. One of the things that I talked to our team about, and we addressed in our practice format on Tuesday, is that late in the games, teams are not going to hand it to us. We got to take it. We've got, in the fourth quarter, we've got to go take the game. And so we're learning how to do that right now. And I think our kids are close. And I think Friday night will give us a great opportunity to prove that we can do it.
Monday, you faced Neosho in sub-varsity competition, split those two games. What did you notice there between the ninth grade and your junior varsity?
Well, watching our freshmen live, dominance, second week in a row, that group's 2-1, very talented, could be 3-0 also. They lost a very close game in their opener with Webb City. Very exciting group, very athletic group. Numbers are very healthy with that group, with over 40 freshmen. So very proud and excited for those guys. Coach Pierce and Coach McBride are doing just a tremendous job with that group. Our JV right now is struggling, and it is no reason due to them. We have got a lot of issues with injuries and low numbers with certain classes. That we literally sent 16 kids on Monday night to Neosho in the JV, and we finished with 11. So we're really battling right now with numbers on that crew. I'm really happy with those kids. I think they're playing their butts off. I mean, just warriors. slapping the blue paint on and fighting. And there's a lot of kids in there that are going to be future great players for us in the program, and they just need to stay the course and not get frustrated. But obviously the outcomes on Monday night in the JV game are a struggle right now. And with our current injury issue and some of our depth issues, unfortunately might continue to be the case just simply due to numbers. But ultimately, JV isn't about winning anyway, Kevin. Neither is the freshman level. It's really mostly about development. We want them to win, but the most important thing is they're getting reps and they're developing for the future.
That's what's happening on Saturday morning over at Yellow Jacket Stadium. Youth football, week number 2 coming up. So the kids are having fun, and they're getting indoctrinated, aren't they?
They sure are, and super proud of Jason and all of our crew. I'm very thankful for Shane Edson for contributing with bringing a great atmosphere with his announcing and video board work. And so our youth program is very healthy right now, 280 plus. And I want to thank all of the coaches that are contributing too. I mean, it takes an army to make that work, especially with flag. You know, the flag kids, they're so exciting to watch. They're out there, all of them. It's like cats and herding cats. And they got their Lebanon uniforms on, and they're fired up and having a great time. So the future's very bright. The youth numbers are very healthy, and we're excited about that.
See you Friday at Willard. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yellow Jackets and the Willard Tigers Friday night on Jacket Nation Sports, 7 o'clock kickoff. And this has been Jacket Talk Overtime from Buzzcuts, brought to you in part by Ginger's Wellness, by Jacket Nation Sports, by Mercy and Mid-Missouri Bank. Again, I-44 Speedway finale is this Saturday night. Gates will open at 4. Hope you can attend and enjoy that intermission concert by Wyatt McCubbin at I-44 Speedway. Thanks for joining us from Buzzcuts for another edition of Jacket Talk Overtime. He will run out of the pistol, take the snap, and lob one on the side, and it's intercepted for a pick 6 by Cannon Roar.
Takes the handoff, looking for Roar deep, and it is caught in the end zone.
Alex, it's always hot weather in August, but high school football season is here, and the Lebanon Yellow Jackets now in the Central Ozark Conference.
Say goodbye to some key seniors, so, next man up mentality, as always, for Will Christian and the Yellow Jackets. Should be interesting to see how they fill those voids on both the offensive and defensive side of football.